What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Crystal, this is Bond Book Reviews, and today we're going to be jumping into episode 2 of my Amazing Readathon series. So my plan was to get out to you a new video every week, but then sickness came into play. I got COVID, I was down and out for the count, could not get any editing done. So instead, you guys are getting this as a 3-part, 3-day release series. So the way that's going to work is, if you have missed it already, my first part, which is everything before the Face Off weekend, was released yesterday. Today you are getting the Face Off summary of everything that I read during Face Off weekend, and tomorrow you'll be getting the second half of the Amazing Readathon in vlog style again. So one's going to be vlog, today's going to be sit down, tomorrow's going to be vlog, 3-day series. So how I've had to do this, because as you can probably hear, I am still recovering from sickness. I am still congested, I still have a cough. It's a fun time, but you know, I still wanted to get this out to you. I didn't want to just scrap it and not put out anything at all. So I've decided to do it as like a post Amazing Readathon 3-day situation for you guys. So make sure you go check out episode 1 so that you can find out what has happened up to the Face Off weekend. Today we're going to be talking about everything that I read in Face Off weekend. If you're unfamiliar with the Amazing Readathon is, unfortunately, while you're seeing this, it has already been and gone. It probably will be back next year, but it is an awesome readathon hosted by Brie from a book, 4 Paws in a Book, which I will link down below. You can go check it out. It is the most intricate, amazing readathon I have ever, it is the brainchild of Loki Chaos Demon Brie, and pretty much there's new prompts dropped randomly throughout the month. There's like 10 legs, and it's based on the show The Amazing Race, and we had an amazing 1,500 plus people join this year. I was one of the producers. The chaos was amazing, and all I can say is trying to do this while sick was just not what I expected, but I had a fun time regardless. So let's jump into all of the books that I read for Face Off weekend, and I'm going to let you know what they're about and what I thought of them. So Face Off weekend was all about reading as many books as we possibly can. So most of these are short novellas or graphic novels. So this is also a recommendation video for you if you're looking for short books. The first book that I read for Face Off was called Something Like You by Andrea Beatriz Arango. And this was a middle grade written in verse story that followed Laura. Now, Laura ended up in foster care because she made a decision to call the police when something had happened with her parents. There's like a court-ordered rehab that they have to go to, so then therefore she ends up in foster care with her auntie. And she has to now find this new way of living with her auntie, and she ends up finding a dog or a puppy, and then she chooses that she is going to help train this puppy to be a therapy dog. This really highlighted the importance of home being a concept that's always changing, and it certainly doesn't shy away from hitting those tough topics of family separation, addiction, and child neglect. It was really good. I had so much fun with this. Although it was written in verse, that's probably the only reason why it wasn't an A 5-star for me, but it was definitely a 4.5-star. I had a really fun time with this, and it is a great resource for middle grade children looking to experience such a tough topic, but it's done in such a palliative way. Then I read one of the books that Brie had recommended for Face Off weekend, which was A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. This was a novella. It was a fantasy retelling novella talking about Sleeping Beauty. So it follows Zinnia, I think her name is, and she's celebrating her 21st birthday, and she has a sickness or an illness, which means that she probably won't live past her 22nd birthday. And so her best friend decides to host a Sleeping Beauty birthday party along with a wheel and everything. And when she pricks her finger on the spinning wheel, she ends up transported to another world with another Sleeping Beauty who is also desperate to escape her fate. I had so much fun with this. This was really quick and easy and palatable to read. And the concept of seeing the various different Sleeping Beauties that were involved in this was really fun and interesting, and so I gave it 4 stars. Then I decided to continue my read of the Murderbot series by reading book 2, Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. So this is a sci-fi novella. This is book 2 in the Murderbot Diaries, which I think I'm in the minority for this because I only gave it 3 stars. I didn't see like the massive hype around this series. Like I did not like it, but I think it was the timing of me reading it. So I read book 1 and book 2, both with Addie around. And I think having a toddler at my feet, trying to listen to the audiobook while tending to her, I probably couldn't give it the attention that I think it deserved for me to really appreciate our main character as much as I could. So I'm definitely going to do a reread of this before I start getting into like the full books. Like, so I'm going to reread the novellas and I'm going to try and do that when I'm not going to be interrupted. So overall, 3 stars. Next, I read a graphic novel called Witch, or Witch, part 1, volume 1. So this is the part 1 series called The 12 Portals, and this is volume 1 of that part 1 series, because I think there's multiple different parts within this Witch graphic novel series. This is a fantasy graphic novel that follows 5 main characters. I'm going to have to look at my notes for these names: Will, Irma, Tarani, Cornelia, and Haylin, aka Witch. There's been 12 portals that have been opened that kind of like allow an opening between Earth and this like dark world of, I think it's called Metamore, and pretty much everything that is bad is there trying to get to Earth. These portals are allowing that gate that's kind of the veil between them to like become weak. And so these 5 girls have been, I guess, chosen as guardians to kind of guard Earth, and they have elemental powers. So they're based on, you know, wind, earth, wind, nature, water, fire, and I can't think of the last one. But yeah, all in all, I had a fun time with this. It was 4 stars. Very fun, lighthearted. Kind of gave me Powerpuff Girls inspiration in terms of like the graphics and the like the artwork in it. Yeah, so I had a fun time. Then we moved on to my first 5-star of the weekend, and this was Wayward Volume 1, which is called String Theory by Jim Zub. Put the covers all up here for you so you can see them. The plot is really difficult to describe without like spoilers, because for me to just tell you like the real basic concept would not tell you more about why this is so good. But pretty much we have a main character whose parents are divorced, and her father has sent her to live in Japan again with her mother. And while she's there, she soon discovers that she has these crazy powers that she needs to use to kind of defend against certain evils looming in Japan. The artwork in this is absolutely gorgeous. I'll see if I can get some from the internet to be able to put up here so you can see it, but I've had to return my copy to the library, so I don't have it anymore, but I will definitely be continuing the series. I'm so excited. It left me with like this massive cliffhanger at the end, and it kind of gave me like Buffy vibes. It's comped to Buffy, and I can kind of see that parallel. Main character is really cool. The side characters that kind of like work along with her are really awesome, and some of their powers were just super intriguing, and I want to know more. Then we had a disappointing read, and I read A Sound for the Wild Built. I actually buddy read this. This is by Becky Chambers. I buddy read this with someone else who was participating in the Amazing Readathon, and we both had the same thoughts, which kind of made me feel a bit better, because I thought I was totally going to be in the minority for this. This follows Dex, who is a tea seller, and Moscap, who is a robot that has kind of come to be like, what do the humans need? And it literally follows them exploring around, asking deep questions about like the meaning of life. And I was so bored. Like, I think I wanted to love this, and I can see why there's so many people that would like find meaning in this and really love it. But to me, I didn't care about enough the characters. I didn't like the coziness of it, because I was expecting the coziness that I got from like Travis Baldree novels, which I didn't. And like, I didn't really like vibe with the characters or the world too much for me to like really get out of it what other people have. So unfortunately, I gave it 2.5 stars, which, looking at Goodreads, I am so the minority, so the like outlier in this situation, because I think that there's only about 2,000 people that have rated this that gave it 2 stars or below. Everyone else loved it and gave it at least 3 stars. So it's definitely a me problem, just wasn't my book. Then I read I think it's an Audible original I listened to an Audible original called More Me With You by Alex Blythe. No, Alex Bertie. And this follows Will, who is our main character. He's just moved to Bristol to kind of like restart his life. And he's kind of like working in a bookshop, living with like a crazy roommate, having like a fun time. But the last thing on his mind is a relationship with an actual man. I don't know what else it would be with, but yeah, he's just not thinking about getting a boyfriend. And then in walks Ben into his bookstore, and then they kind of end up having this like competitive rivalry between the two of them, because I think they both do jiu-jitsu, and the friendly rivalry between them like soon turns into more. And this was just a really, really fun male quick romance. with really likable main characters. So I gave that one 4.5 stars. And that was it. That is what I read for the Face Off weekend. I had every intention of being able to read more than that. I had like an entire stack of graphic novels that I was intending to get through. I had planned on listening to some more Audible originals, but my life just did not allow it. And that is okay, because I still contributed to the teams as best that I could, or sabotaged them, however you look at it, because as a producer, I was actually making it harder for people to find items in the airport. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't read as many as I wanted to, because the more that I read, the harder I made it for you guys. So you're welcome for me not being able to get as many read as I wanted, but it just meant I have less to talk to you about. So that's it. That's how I went for the Face Off weekend. Make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow, where you will get the second half of Amazing Readathon, and be sure to go back and watch the first half if you haven't seen it already. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.